Hi everyone, welcome you all. In the today's video, we are going to learn two important commands. One is PS and kill command. So basically these two commands are related to process management. So first of all, let us see what is process and what are the different types of processes we have in Unix or Linux. And then we will see how we can use PS and kill command. So first of all, let us see what is process. A process is an instance of a running program. A process is an instance of a running program, which means whenever you run a shell command or a shell script in Unix or Linux, a process will be created for that. So whenever you run a shell script or shell command, a process will be created for that particular command or a script. So that is basically called as a process. So when I run a 10 commands or 10 shell script in your Linux, 10 processes will be created. Okay, that is all about process. And basically what is the use of PS and kill command? So the PS command will be used to see the what are all processor running. So if you want to see what are all processor running, I can use PS command. And suppose I don't want to run some processes or some processes are already running and I just want to stop those processes or I want to kill those processes, then I can use kill command. So PS command will be used to display the current processes which are running on Linux or Unix machine, and kill command will be used to kill the specific process or specific processes. Okay, so two commands were available. Now there are two types of processes we have. One is called foreground processes, the other one is called background processes. Now let us see what is the difference between foreground process and background process. So let me just connect to my Ubuntu VM. Let me just execute one command here. So when I execute this command, let's say pwd, right, which will give you the present working directory. So this command just executed as a foreground process. That means as soon as I executed this command, immediately display the output. Immediately, which is display the output. So this is a foreground process. And once you executed this command, right? Once you executed this command, it is immediately exited. So we got some output from that command. Immediately we exited from the command prompt. So this is something called foreground process. So what is background process means what? When I execute the same command as a background process by using and symbol we can use. When I execute this command, it is just giving some process ID and it is not given any command prompt to execute another command. So once you press enter, then it is exited. That means the same command I have executed as a background process. So whenever executing a shell command or shell script, the process will be created. But when I execute this command as a foreground process, I haven't seen any process ID directly executed and exit the command here. We got the command prompt. But when I execute the same command as a background process, then I got some process ID. But it will not give you the command prompt directly until unless we press enter key. And once you press enter key, then we got the another command prompt. So this process still running on the backend. Okay, so if you want to execute a command as a backend process or background process, then you can just use and symbol. Okay, so these are two different types of processes. We have foreground process and background process. Now we have two commands. One is called PS command, which will basically display the list of processes. Now let me show you different options available for PS command. Let me clear it. So when I execute only PS command, which will display the current processes which are running. So currently it is just showing only two processes. And the first column is representing process IDs and TDY means the terminal, which type of terminal currently you are working, and the time and what command it is executed. So these two commands basically, and PS command just now I have executed. So it is just display the process ID of that PS command. Okay. So this is a PS command. So just it display the what are all current processes are running on your Linux or Unix machine. And there are multiple options also there with the PS. So I'll show you. And I also want to show you how the command will be executed as a foreground process and background process. Suppose I have a small shell script which is created. For example, let me open it. I'll say a gedit, or I can say a gedit, and I have some file called test script. Let me just less. I have a small shell script is created. Let me just open myscript.hs. Let me just display this. I say cat myscript.hs. So now this is a small shell script file I created, which contains some number of statements. Let's say I have 2 echo statements and 1 sleep statement. Okay, so this is a file contents, and this is a .hs extension which is created. So this is a small shell script file. So how to execute the shell script file in Unix or Linux is we use sh command. Sh, I say, okay, myscript.sh. When I execute this command, it will display some few statements, and it will wait for 100 seconds, and then it will exit. I'm just forcefully exiting this command. I say Control C. Now what happens is this particular command is executed. As soon as executed this command, the process will be created for this command. So the process will be created for this command. Now how to see that process? When I say PS now, you can just look at this. So we have only 2 processes are running because we have forcefully exited from this command, because it is not yet completed this command. When I say Control C, forcefully we have exited from this command. So there is no process ID created. Now I will run the same script file as a backend process or background process. Okay. Now we'll see how it is going to generate a process ID. Now what I will do is the same command I'm running as a background process. How we can do this? We have to say end symbol. So sh myscript.hs.end. When I execute this command, now which is executing as a backend process. Now I say Control C. I have exited, but still it is running as a backend process. Now when I execute a PS command, now we can just look at here. It is created 2 additional processes. So where it is created, this is one process which is created, and this is another process which is created. So these are the 2 additional processes which are created because this time I have executed this script or command as a background process. So now we can see 2 processes are created, but we have executed only single command, right? Single shell script. But why it is created 2 process IDs? Because the main file, myscript.hs file, when I execute this file or command, which is created one process ID, 2732 is a process ID. But internally, this file also contains one command called sleep command. So that will also create another process ID. So if I just look at here, this is a process ID, 2733 is created. So this is another sub process which is created under this particular process, which is we can call as a parent process and which is called as a child process. Okay. And if you want to see the detailed information of these processes, we have one more command called ps-f. This command will show the complete details. If I just look at here now, so it is also given other details like user ID, process ID, parent process ID, and CPU utilization, starting time, terminal type, time, and command. So all these details are displayed. Now still my process is running as a background process now. Okay. So if I just look at here, this is an actual file which I have run. And what is the process ID for this? 2732 is my process ID. Now in this file, there is a command called sleep command. For this also there is one process is created. So sleep command which is executed as part of this file. So this is a child process. This command is created as a child process. But how we will know that? If I just look at the process ID, 2732 is a process ID of the main file. And if I just look at this particular sleep command, the process ID is 2733. And what is a parent process ID? 2732 is a process ID, parent process ID of the sleep command. So if I just refer that particular process ID 2732, this is a parent process ID of this particular command. So by seeing the process ID and parent process IDs, we can check whether this process is belongs to on which main process. So parent process and child process. Okay, so PID is representing process ID. PID is representing parent process ID. So if I just look at sleep command, 2733 is a process ID of the SEEP command. But what is the parent process ID is 2732. 2732 is a parent process ID. And what is that process? MyScript.hs is a process. So now these two processes are running when I execute my shell script. Okay, so this is all about how we can display the processes and parent process and the child process. So we have few options here. Let me just say ps-f. When I say F, which will display the full information about the processes like user ID, parent process ID, process ID, starting time, CPU utilization, what type of terminal is used, time and command is used. So all the details will be displayed. Okay, so similarly, we also have one more command called ps-e. When I say ps-e, which will display all the process which are running in the current mission. When I say -f, which is just display the processes which are running by the user. When I just look at above, only these two processes are showing here. But when I say ps-e means display all the processes, all the internal processor which are also running by Linux or Unix VM. So these are the two options we have. So ps minus -f, ps-e. Suppose I want to see all the processes with full details. I can combine these two commands. So ps-ef. We can combine this command. Let me just clear ps-ef. So this command will give you all the processes which are running with all the users. So root users are running some processes, and Pawan is another user is running some processes, some background processes. Okay, so which will display the detailed information. And suppose I want to see exactly what are all parent processes and child processes. Clearly, I want to display, right, in the tree structure. So how we can display that? So let me just run a process for now. I'll say I'm running one shell script command. I say myscript.sh. I'm just running this. Observe this as a background process and symbol. Okay, and I ran it. Exit. Again, one more time I'm running and exit. One more time I'll run it. So 3 times I have run my shell script. How many processes should create? 3 different processes should create, and internally sleep command also will create child process. Now Control C, just observe here, ps-fi executed. Now observe this here. My script is a main process. This is my child process. Another my script.h is a parent process, child process, parent process, child. 3 times I have executed. So 3 parent processes and 3 child process executed, but I don't know exactly which one comes under which parent process. So to see that clearly, you can execute one command called ps-h. ps-h. Now when I execute this command, which will give you the clear information. And if I just look at this, the first shell script is executed as a parent process, and the sleep is a child process of this one. Another sleep is a child process of this one. Another sleep is a child process of this one. And you can also combine these two statements, -f, -s. And this is uppercase F or smaller case F. Anything is fine. Now we can just look at exactly in the tree structure. And first time when I execute this file, this is created main process, and this is a child process. And this is again one more main process, child process, and this is another one more main process or parent process. This is the child process. So 3 times I have executed. So 3 times parent processor was created and child process is also created. So -h is a command by which we can also display the child process under the parent process, right? So if you want to display exactly information about the process based on process ID, we can display the information. I execute ps. Let's say I say my process ID is 2242, for example, or 2835, 2835. I say 2835. So when I specify the process ID, which will give you all the information about this process. So I can just look at 2835. So 2835, this is a process which is running. Internally, there are other processes also there. So it is just displayed the same command. Whichever processes are initiated with this 2835 process ID is associated with these files. So it is displayed here. All the details, if you want to clearly see based on the process ID, we can execute this command. Okay. So this is how we can see what are all processes are running in your Linux or Unix. Suppose, let me just clear this. And when I run this command, suppose sh myscript.sh, I'm running this as a foreground process. So when you run the script, now it is executing as a foreground process. Now I want to exit from this process, then immediately I say Control C. When I say Control C, which will forcefully exit from the process, it will automatically kill the process. But when I execute this as a backend process by using end symbol, now if you want to exit from this process, then we have to kill this process. So Control C, when I execute this PID command, PID-F, it's a PID, PS, right? PS-F, which will show you the parent. This is showing the ID, process ID. Now I want to kill this process because this is a background process. I can see the process ID. I want to kill this. If it is a foreground process, I can just exit from by using Control C. But if it's a background process, I want to kill this. How to kill this? Use kill command. I say kill, and then we have to specify the process ID. What is the process ID of this? 2851. So I say 2851 is my process ID. Now it is terminated. Now again, if I say PS-F, now 2851 process ID is no more there. So it is kill. So even sleep also I want to kill. I say kill, and this process is 2852. I say 2852. Then specify the process ID which is killed. Now when I execute PS-F, now there are no processor now. So both are terminated. Okay, so this is how we can just kill the process, or we can stop the processes. And suppose I have a multiple processor running, I want to kill all the processes, or suppose multiple processes, then I can say kill, and we can separate all the PIDs by separating comma. Let's say process ID 1, 2, 3. You can specify multiple process IDs. Let me show you. So here I'm running my shell script which will create a processes. So sh, I say myscript.hs. I'm just running this multiple times as a background process. So first time Control C, second time Control C, exiting, forceful exiting, third time. Now 3 processes are running backend, right? Background. Now clear this and execute PS-F. Now you can just look at here. 3 files are running as a background processes, including child processes. Totally 6 processes are running. So I want to kill 2 different processes. Like first process, this one 2869, and this one is 2871. I want to kill these 2. So how we can kill them? I say kill, and the process ID of the first file is 2869, comma, and the process ID of the second is 2871. I say 2871. So you can separate by comma by passing multiple PIDs, process IDs. Now we can just look at here. There are 2 process IDs I mentioned, right? And what it is saying, arguments must be process or job IDs. And what I have given, 2869 is a process ID we have given. 2871 is also process IDs we have given. And what it is exactly saying is arguments must be a process or job ID. It is saying we have given properly. Okay, but here the thing is, if you want to kill multiple processes forcefully, then we have to use one more option called -9. We have to use -9. So if you want to forcefully kill the processes, we use -9. And then you can specify any number of process IDs. So when I execute this command, which will kill all the processes which are associated with this process IDs, 2869, 2871. Now when I execute PS-F, and we don't see those process IDs have killed. Okay, so this is how we can also use kill command. We can also use kill command. And sometimes we can also use PS command along with some other commands by using piping concept. So let us say a small requirement I have. Let me just clear this. Let us say I want to display the some processes or some process, and that process name should have something like a test script. Let me just say sh, I say myscript.sh. So this is a file I'm running as a backend process. So when I run this as a backend process, which will be created when I run this command or a shell script, which will create a process. Now the process name, what is the name of the process? My script will be created. So I want to display the processes, different processes. The process name should be my script. Okay, so there are 2 things are involved here. First, I will run this command, which will create a process or number of processes. After that, I want to display the processes which are having this particular name. That's my requirement. So let me just run this command. So now I have run this. Now it is process is created. 2884 is created. Now I want to display the process which is having this particular name. So how we can do it? I can execute one command here. ps-f. This is the first command which will display all the processes. When I say here, now process is running here. And there is only one process which is having myscript.sh. Now I want to filter it. So piping, and here I'm using grep command to search the pattern of the file. So what is the name of the file? This is the name of the file, myscript.sh. So here I'll say myscript.sh. So execute. Now we can see these entries. And now we can just look at here ps-f, which is displayed all the processes, and those processes will go as an input for the grep command. So when I say ps-f, it is displayed all the processes, but among these processes, it is just collected only the processes which are having my script, whichever process is matching with this pattern, which is captured that process. And this is also another process which is just created with the grep command we executed, right? So that's the reason which is also created another process. And this is also having the same name. So one process is created by my previous command, right? And this process is created by grep command. So two processes are having the similar name. So that's the reason we got the two entries. Okay. So this is how we can use ps command and kill command. So ps command is basically used for display the current number of processes which are running on Linux or Unix machines. And the kill command will be used to stop the currently running process or processes. Okay, so these are all multiple options are available. Okay, so basically these two commands are comes under process management commands, or you can say process commands. All right, so that's all with this video guys. Thanks for watching.